Greetings, family. Welcome to another edition of Just Reasoning, the podcast. It's been a while. It's been a while since we link up and we talk. And there's a lot that's been going on. It's May 24th, 2020. And all of our lives have been uprooted by this coronavirus, COVID-19. Life, as most of us know it, has changed in major ways as this global pandemic, something that is unseen, a virus that exists amongst us, has taken in the U.S. now almost 100,000 lives, over 1.5 million cases, and no clear end in sight. It just goes to show you that we tend to think we're in control of things, but when it comes to it, one man run things. God has this thing all under control, and not us. So our reason about that, there's so many levels to it that we can discuss and should have been discussing all this time. But now is a time that I wanted to speak on something, because when our lives are disrupted in many ways, we respond differently, right? Some people shut down. Some people are depressed, rightfully. A lot of people are losing jobs. A lot of people's incomes have been slashed by 60, 70, 80, 90%. And others reach for a means of creative expression, something that maximizes and gets out there the entire you. We're all born to do something. And so some of the things that have come up, there's a particular initiative which I'll be announcing that we with Solar Productions are doing on an ongoing basis to help people. Details are still being worked out, so I'm not going to announce it right now. But you will be hearing about that in the coming days. But when you just think of how people have responded, right? It started off, with D-Nice, DJ D-Nice. I actually didn't even know he was a DJ before this COVID-19 thing. I know him as a rapper from back in the 80s. My name is D-Nice, taking out your suckers and you don't know how I did it. Where he, I guess probably a couple months now, just one Saturday night, just fired up his laptop and started DJing on Instagram Live, and one person tell another person, share it on their page, and before you know it, I don't even know the millions of people who end up viewing this. Michelle Obama, all kinds of people were joining his live feed. So that was his means of creative expression. With people stuck at home, don't know what to do, he decided, my talent is DJing. I'm going to DJ for the world. And people within their houses all around the world joined in, watch, listen to it. And so that's one of the things that has come out, is people using their talents, whether they be DJs, singers, exercise trainers, to do it in a different way, virtually, in our now disconnected world, and still, serving the needs of people and getting out their creative expression. So that brings us to tonight. Tonight, right now it's early in the morning on Sunday morning, but Saturday night was just a historic night for dancehall culture. So, Verzuz TV. This was an initiative started by producers Swizz Beatz and Timbaland, where they get icons of music, whether it be Jill Scott and Erykah Badu, or just different artists, legendary artists. And to date, prior to this past week, it's primarily hip hop and R&B artists. Kind of just paying homage to some legendary people. Like Teddy Riley and Babyface, and people who are just legendary in their craft. So tonight, or Saturday night, they put on a clash with Bounty Killa and Beenie Man. Two absolute legends of reggae, dancehall reggae music. Legendary. And if to understand how big this is, I say is because it's still a moment. Not only are they legendary artists, that's part of it, but they are legendary artists who have had a very publicized beef and rivalry for a long time. It's kind of been on and off, like where they would war for a while, war lyrically. And so this is the thing that has, there's been controversy between not just the artists, but between supporters of the artists. And over the course of many, many years, decades, they have, some, even going beyond that, Beenie Man's ex-wife, the Angel, and mother of one of his children, used to date Bounty Killa, right? So that adds an element in there also. And so to just, in recent months, they put out a Instagram post, like, big up my brother, Beenie Man, big up my brother Bounty Killa. And seeing that was a big deal because these people have been, at war lyrically for a long time. So to bring them on the same, well, that's another part of it. Most of these battles have been, because of the social distancing thing, people haven't been in the same place. You have Babyface in his studio and wherever he lives, Teddy Riley in his studio wherever he lives, and they all playing their own hits, completely separated from each other. And coming up in dancehall culture, which is the origin of all this culture, this clashing tune for tune. I play my best tune, you play your best tune. That's a dancehall thing from way back when, right? And Swiss Beats and Timbaland put that on in a different format. So Jamaicans, we do things different, and this was the first Verzuz clash featuring dancehall artists. So Beenie and Bounty were in the same studio at the same time. And when I turned on this thing earlier tonight, and I just see both of them on the stage together, and it wasn't a stage, but inside a studio together, with the Jamaican flag in the background, the DJs in the background, and just seeing that picture was iconic, right? So that's when I knew this was going to be some big things. And then for the next hour and a half, just hearing them going back and forth, hits after hits after hits after hits you not even really remember. All the big songs, Who Am I, The Girls, I'm Sugar, Romy, Poor People, Fed Up, Look Into My Eyes. We can't go on and on just hearing all these big, big tunes. And it was legendary. It was a moment. Our whole house over here was dancing, and it was really, really, it was a moment, something that we will all remember years from now. Where were you the night that this was the most watched dancehall clash in history, right? Yes, it wasn't everybody in one room, but everybody watching at the same time, like 500,000 people from across the world watching one clash at the same time. That was a proud moment. And you know, and to just, so those of us who are in the dancehall culture, and I have been, you know, yes, of course I'd expect us to really get it, but you know, after the fact, I got a chance to watch, you know, Swizz Beatz, and you know, he was kind of recapping it with some of his partners in the entertainment business, and they're just talking about like this set the bar of all the other verses, this individual versus that individual that they've done. This one set the bar, you know, because it was just a vibe. It was a level that's going to be hard to top. You know, the catalog of hits that these two gentlemen have is one thing. The history behind their rivalry is another. Them being in the same place is another. It just brought it to another level. And so it made me, you know, I'm always proud of being, extremely proud of being Jamaican. I'm very proud of being a Caribbean boy, of all things Caribbean, or overall culture, or music, or vibes. Talk to me for 5 seconds and you find that out, you know, anytime. That's just me, always has been. But, you know, listen to others talk about what it meant to them, people who aren't necessarily of the culture, hearing them talk about how it impacted them, and seeing the level that we, I said we because everybody who has been supporting Beenie Man and Bounty Killa and Buju Banton and all these artists from way back when, we made this possible. We are the ones who have supported these artists over the years, giving them the platform, you know, for them to use their talent and entertain people, you know, and build up and build and build and build to the point where this is the biggest event that they have ever had, and it's going to be hard for them to top it. So what we have is a special culture, and it was just a very proud moment in the midst of an otherwise very dark time in human history, with this pandemic just destroying a lot, destroying lives, destroying livelihoods, you know, killing people, making people sick, people in the hospital for, you know, months on end, losing jobs, businesses shutting down. There's a lot of darkness in our world, generally speaking, and specifically right now, there's a lot of darkness. So this was one bright light within all of that darkness. And it was good to see, you know, and that's just kind of something that we can all kind of wrap our heads around it. No matter how dark a situation is, and we are all going to have these dark situations, seek that light, that one speck of light that will offer you some inspiration, some hope, some joy. Tonight was that light, you know, for a lot of people. In the midst of everything else going on in their lives, for this moment, we got a chance to see two legendary icons of Jamaica, of reggae, of dancehall, do their thing before the live viewing of 500,000 people. And after that, you know, who knows how many more people going to be watching this, you know, probably the millions of people. This was on the front page of CNN.com, talking about Beenie Man and Bounty Killa clash. Major things. So that was a moment. Where were you on the night when Beenie Man and Bounty Killa clash virtually in front of 500,000 people in a live audience? It was a moment in the midst of a very dark time period. That's my reasoning tonight, this morning. Vibe on that and seek a speck of light in the midst of an otherwise dark time period. That's my reason on the subject. Bless up, family. One love. Stay safe. Wash your hands. and love one another from a distance, as we are social distancing right now. But make people know you love them and seek that speck of light in the midst of any dark situation. All right, my people. Bless up. One love.